Coming up on this week's DizPod, we take a deep dive into all-star music. What is the Disney Disability Pass, Diz news, and much more. That's all coming up next on the DizPod. Hello and welcome to another DizPod, everyone. If you're listening to this or watching this, you're doing it on YouTube. And of course, if you're watching on our channel, just want you to know that you can also access this. There are some people that just like to listen to a podcast, and you can do that by going to the YouTube Music app. And there's this little switch that at the top that you can just take and slide it over from video to audio, which I didn't know until we launched last week's podcast. And that's really cool to do. And yeah, we got really good feedback from the podcast last week, and we're very happy about that. I think we got more positive feedback than we expected. Numbers wise, we were really hoping for, my expectation was 600 listens or views within 12 hours. Where if you compare again, like I talked about, our numbers for Spotify and Apple were more like 84 views per episode. And that was kind of building. But to have 600 views, I think it was in the first hour or less, is amazing. And it is over 1,000 views and listens right now for episode 1. And we definitely expect that just to continue to grow. And I couldn't have done it without my amazing team. Let's bring in Dana.
Hi, friends.
Lawrence.
They invited us back for another episode.
We did. The audience just demanded it, I think. And last but certainly not least, Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
Hi. Wait, I can't hold up the logo now.
No, you can't. We moved you. So I don't know. Just to open up, what were your thoughts going into last week, recording, and then seeing the final product and everybody reacting?
I didn't really know what to expect, and it was exciting. I was leaving work right at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I was listening in the car and trying not to get in a car accident while I was trying to watch at the same time. But got home and finished it up, and I was proud of us. I thought it was great. I thought we had a lot of awesome information.
Yeah, I think we did a great job of giving so many tips and tricks, and I think that that's what's going to make this different. Is not only are we covering news, but we're covering tips and tricks, and our opinions, our week in the park. So it's going to be well-rounded. When I saw it, I was actually flying back home from surprising Corey for the weekend, so that was fun.
You surprised me too. I'm just like, wait a minute, Lawrence is there? I popped into Saturdays. I'm just like, wait a minute, was that Lawrence?
And I was just like, hi, Lawrence.
Absolutely. That you just made our Saturday. That was really, really amazing. So we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. It's definitely worth talking about and sharing that experience. So coming up, we'll get right into it in just a moment. We're going to talk about some Diz news. We'll go over our LID announcements, as we'll do each and every stream. We'll talk about our 50s primetime experience with Lawrence and Catherine and Finley, his daughter, and Jacob and Tammy. I really think that was one of our top streams of all time.
That was fun.
That's how highly I think of that night. I'm like, Holly McGlone was texting me like mad in reaction to a lot of the stream as the dinner was going on. And one thing she said was, "This is gold." She says, "This is absolute gold." And I'm like,
cool. Yes,
new viewers, are going to love this. Our existing viewers who already love us are just eating it up. And Theo Sam Eagle messaged me, I think, or he messaged me, or on Aaron's stream on Sunday, he was like, Corey, you were just off. It was an off-the-chain performance last night.
See, I didn't get to see this live because we were still in the middle of our staycation at Coronado, so we were enjoying the pool when y'all were inside there. And I was just talking to Corey afterwards, and I'm just like, man, I got to go back and watch this, and I haven't made time to do that yet. I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come clean to viewers here and say I have never been to the 50s cafe, primetime cafe, ever. I think when we were kids, we all just wanted to go to sci-fi. You know, that was the place we wanted to be. And it was like meatloaf and stuff. We're like, no. And I don't know. I just keep going to sci-fi. Now I'm going to have to go to 50s.
I've only been to 50s.
You got to go to 50s with us, which where you got to go to 50s with us, Dana.
Yeah. I promise.
Yes. It's really good. So,
and hopefully that same crew is working, because they were great.
Well, at this point, we want to request Leah for sure. You know, I never thought, it's a little thing, but I never thought that I would pick up a handful of straws and whip them at a cast member. Aaron, we're leaving the restaurant, and all of a sudden I get these straws thrown at me in the lobby, you know, from behind the counter. So I picked them all up and threw them back at Corey with a K. That was pretty fun. So,
all right, that's it. After we finish recording tonight, I'm going to go watch this.
Yes, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. So we'll raise some questions for discussion. We will talk about the Disney news, and probably leading the news this week. I mean, you can take your pick. It's either Elemental bombing at the box office, or it's 2 Disney executives leaving, and what we think that means for Disney. And also a deep dive into the All-Star Music Resort. And I think this could be a weekly segment where we do a deep dive into a resort.
Yeah, I think there's enough resorts out there that we could certainly make this weekly.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
Yeah, so you know, with over 37,000 rooms across the entire Disney World resort, it can be quite a challenge to try and find which individual resort is right for you. So we thought that we would help by introducing these resort deep dives. So this week, we're going to start with All-Star Music Resorts. All-Star Music is a value resort based in the Animal Kingdom area. And this has 1,604 rooms. So quite a complex there. It also has 2 sister resorts, All-Star Music and All-Star Movies and All-Star Sports. But we'll talk about those in a future episode. The resort is broken up into different buildings with different themes. So because it's All-Star Music, you have Calypso, Jazz, Rock, Broadway, and Country. Calypso and Jazz buildings are located closest to the check-in, and the food hall and the arcade, which is in Melody Hall. So those will be preferred rooms. So they're going to cost a little bit more, but it's worth it because you're closer to the transportation. This resort also is only serviced by buses to the parks and to Disney Springs. However, the resort buses that we took to and from Magic Kingdom were articulated, so they were double buses essentially. So plenty of room there. Unless you hang out with Corey and you're the last person, then you get a private bus.
Sounds about right.
That's how we do
it. So the rooms themselves were recently refurbished. So they took out all the carpet, all the dated color, and really did a nice upgrade on them. You've got luxury vinyl flooring. All the furniture has been replaced. You have USB ports and the desks and the nightstands. The room will have 1 queen bed and a table, but the table pulls down kind of like a Murphy bed. And so you would have 2 full queen beds in that room. If you need a little bit more room, they do have family suites available. These are done basically by taking a second hotel room and putting them together. And so in that second space, you're going to have the primary bedroom, a full kitchen, and an additional bathroom. So this will have 2 bathrooms in it, which is really nice for those longer stays. If you are doing a longer stay and you're looking for something to do on the non-park days, they have campfires. They have movie nights. They always have arts and crafts. You can always play in the arcade there, or enjoy one of the 2 pools. So because this is music and they like their theming, you have a piano-shaped pool, and then you have the guitar-shaped pool that you see there. They also have 24-hour laundry on site, which is great. A couple things to remember, though. Staying on property gives you early access to the parks the day you check in and the day you check out. So let's say that you want to head to Disney Springs the day that you're checking out. You can have Bell service hold your luggage for you while you head over to the parks or Disney Springs. And if you are leaving or coming in from the airport and flying, the Magical Express no longer exists, but you do still have 2 similar services. One is called Sunshine Flyer, and the other one is Mears Connect. Mears actually used to run the Magical Express, so it's very similar, although there is a fee for it now. But it's pretty on par with taking a Lyft or an Uber from the airport. So that is your deep dive into All-Star Music. Any questions from the panel or from our viewers? Drop them in the chat and we'll be able to answer them.
Any idea, Lawrence, the nightly rate, or does it change during the year?
So it definitely changes during the year. I can tell you, being a value resort, a lot of people tend to steer away from them because they think, that they're like a Motel 6 or Super 8 or something like that, but they're not. They're really clean. The theming, I think, is better in them than some of the moderate or the deluxe resorts. I've seen it as low as $160 a night for those. Yeah, and right now, right now there's plenty of discounts going on for different times of the year. Annual pass holder discount. There's a Florida resident discount, and then there's also a Disney Plus subscriber discount. So if you are one of those, you can certainly get up to 35% off of the room rate.
Great. Thanks.
This pool is really cool. I love that pool. I love the theming of the 3 Caballeros right there. That's a lot of fun right there.
All right. I want to go jump in.
We don't have an image of, so if anyone's listening, 3 Caballeros, so you've got a guitar-shaped pool, and then you have a circular platform in the middle, which you're not allowed to get on top of, but it's in the middle of the pool. You can swim up to the side walls of it and kind of hang out there if you'd like. But you have the 3 Caballeros up there standing on top of a Mexican blanket, and let's see. We've got I'm going blank on the one with the guns at the moment.
Panchito.
Yeah. Panchito is like shooting off his little 6-shooter or whatever it is. I don't know guns, but water is sprinkling out of them, so that's fun. And around them in the background in the on the buildings, it says Calypso, and you have maracas on a couple of sets of the buildings. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lawrence, it's been a little bit since I've been to All-Star Music. There are other buildings that should have other theming to it, but still be music, right?
Correct. Yeah. So you have rock. We stayed in jazz, so you had a nice jazz drum set in front of the building. So it's really cool. The other thing is we went during Father's Day weekend, and so they always have some sort of arts and crafts. And so Finley was able to do a card. And I wanted to point out, because you have I love Dad because blah blah blah. Look at Dad's hobby there.
YouTube, everybody in Radio Land. She colored a picture, a logo of YouTube.
Yeah,
that's amazing, Diz, right there.
She knows me well. But there's always something for the kids to do, and I think if you're doing a family trip, don't pass by the value resorts. Those are really good.
Lawrence, I noticed in one of the photos that it showed a food court. Is that something that is one food court for the entire resort?
For the entire resort, yeah. So, but they have different windows, so you can, get rice and beans, or you can get pizza or burgers. It also has a market, and they're open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then in these food courts, which a lot of the deluxe do not have this ability, but you have a microwave and toasters and toaster oven inside the food court, and then you also have the beverage center. So if you have a resort mug, you can go down there any time of the day or night and fill it up with by the Coke machines there.
Great.
So this is what we used to think as a family of 4 vacationing from way up north down to Florida. We did it 3 straight years in a row, and we couldn't afford the middle range or the upper, deluxe and all that stuff. But it also couples with our way of thinking about coming to Disney, and that is ultimately we just wanted a place to put our heads at night.
Yeah.
Because we're not hanging around the resort. We're all about, rope drop, almost rope drop. I've never really rope dropped. Give me an hour or 90 minutes. I'm a 90-minute rope drop.
I'm bound determined to get Corey on a true rope drop.
Now, I've been there pre-rope drop because we've been filming content for Disney. So we've actually been in Magic Kingdom before anybody, and then start to see people trickle in, and they all pile up in the hub, and like the pathways to Fantasyland and all that are roped off, and then they finally drop that rope. Yeah, we've been there. But that's not my official rope drop. But we just needed a place to put our heads at night. We really only wanted to focus on the resort. We usually went on a 10-day vacation. So you're talking midway through was a resort day. That's the day. No, 2 days. That would be the day, probably a Wednesday or something, where this is a resort day, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to enjoy the resort. Always enjoyed coming back from the resort at night and just shopping. Even if you saw the same stuff the night before, the night before that, it's nice to just browse the shop before you go back up to your room. But like Lauren said, they're great rooms. They are far from a Motel 6. And we just really enjoyed them, and I kind of miss it. We've had these opportunities to stay at all these wonderful resorts, and we want to do that. We'd rather do that given a choice, but I can see us going back to the All Stars at some point again, because I just love them. And this is funny, and I'm looking down at Lawrence, and this is not the reason. As you all are watching tonight, or for those of you listening, I'll explain. Under our names, we're gonna put something there each podcast, and today we have our favorite resorts. Lawrence has Art of Animation, Aaron has Wilderness Lodge, Dana has the Polynesian, and I am always indecisive when y'all ask me something when I'm live. I can't decide between is Haunted Mansion my favorite. I'm bad at picking a number one thing, except Empire Strikes Back is the greatest movie of all time, hands down.
Duh.
I have Beach Club there, but I'm clearly thinking now, and it is Art of Animation. I made me think of it because we have to say it's a step above the All Stars because money says so, right? What is it classified as, though? It's not a value quite.
It is a value.
It is a value.
Though?
Okay, it doesn't price as a value, but it is a value.
It doesn't. So when I try to book, I always thought, is this really a value resort? So that one is my favorite, and it's because it bleeds Disney everywhere, and it has great pools and great theming. It's kind of like the All Stars on steroids.
And it has the Skyliner, does it not?
It does have Skyliner access. Without question, there's so many beautiful resorts, but my favorite one is Art of Animation, and I've been lucky enough to stay at that twice.
I put Wilderness Lodge, but I'm in the same boat as you. There's so many of those resorts that are just so nice that I want to stay at. There's a few that I have stayed at. I've stayed at Coronado. I've stayed at Saratoga. I've stayed at Pop. And I've stayed at All Star. I think it was Movies that I stayed at. I haven't really stayed at a bad Disney resort.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, never, never. And I just want to point out that you can toast marshmallows.
Yes.
That's always a nice
And
added.
you can do s'mores. They have s'more kits that you can buy, and they are Mickey shaped graham cracker cookies, of course.
Sweet.
I just have to get the dad joke in. That pool had 3 caviars on it. I just want to say they are birds of a feather.
All right.
I'm into the resorts, moderate or otherwise, for the bathroom accoutrement. I will give me all the lotions. I'm taking home all the soaps. If there's a lady with her little cart in the hallway, can I get some extra lotion from you? And I use it all year round. And that's my thing. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, moving on. LID announcements. Some of these will repeat as we lead up to them, just to remind you, or if you have not heard them yet. On July 4th, we're so excited to say that we are going to be in Epcot for I never know what to call our stream. It's not an all-day stream, but it's like an afternoon through evening stream. So we'll be starting, who knows, sometime in the early afternoon, and we'll be taking that through midnight because, I mean, fireworks happen. This could be a stupid question, Lawrence, but and Aaron, do fireworks happen at midnight in Epcot as a countdown to the new year? No, not the new year. It's not the new year. For the new year, does it do that? The new year, it's got to do it, right?
Yeah, they do it. They do it for they do it at midnight for the new year.
All right. So who knows? Yeah. So we'll be there for Epcot for the fireworks, 4th of July, and before that, having a good time.
Is it a special patriotic fireworks show on the 4th then?
Yeah.
They typically have a 4th of July tag to the fireworks show.
Isn't it like 30 minutes long too? Like it's extra long, isn't it?
I don't remember how long it is, but I do know it's one of the loudest fireworks show you will ever hear.
I've never seen a fireworks display like Epcot at 4th of July. It was incredible.
Really?
See, Roxy's wanting to pop over to Magic Kingdom that day for 4th of July fireworks because I'm going to be working that day. And I'm just like, babe, you should be going to Epcot. They have the better 4th of July fireworks. She's like, well, let me figure that out for myself. I'm like, okay, don't take my word for it. I've only done both.
So here's a tip that we learned last year. Disney has fireworks for 4th of July at Magic Kingdom on the 3rd and the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to go to Magic on the 4th. And when we found that out, we said, well, no, we'll go on the 3rd to Magic, and then we'll see Epcot's on the 4th. So we got to see both shows.
Exactly.
And Magic is great because they've got a DJ in the hub. They've got a DJ in Tomorrowland. So it's a great party atmosphere both nights, the 3rd and the 4th.
Now
Speaking of which, Magic Kingdom, I looked it up today. Magic Kingdom closes at 11 o'clock in the 4th this year.
Yeah, it's better than 10 p.m.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not quite.
You're making me think I need to go stream on Monday too, to do those fireworks and then go do the others.
It's not quite the 1 p.m. they did the year prior to the pandemic, though. 1 a.m.
Yeah. I'm going to consider that now, Lawrence.
We'll be there. We'll be at Magic on the 3rd.
Okay, I'm going to say that's almost a guarantee now.
Corey, on the 4th, do they have patriotic themed goodies, desserts and cupcakes, or themed drinks and things like that? Do you know?
Usually.
I'll take Aaron's word for it on that. I am not sure on that one. We're going to find out, though. I mean, it's really close right now, so I don't know if it's anything major. What do you think, Aaron? Because I would think that something would be announced by now. Like, it's really close.
I'm not sure, but I would say if it's going to happen, it's going to happen within the next, as of the airing of this, it'll happen within the next day or two.
Yeah. Okay. On July 5th, we're doing something that's epic, and we'll make that announcement on July 1st, which is a Saturdays at Hollywood Studios. We're just keeping that one close to the vest. We're really excited. It's been well planned. It's going to be pretty exciting. Samantha Carpin is asked to join us, so I told her yes. So she'll be with us. And the newest announcement, or I did talk about this last week. On July 11th, we are doing Animal Kingdom Moonlight Magic Stream, DVC, and
Nice.
that'll be a lot of fun. So, all right. Should we move on to? Let's move on to our Saturdays. This past Saturdays. So it was Jacob's birthday stream. That makes it exciting right off the top. And so we're going about our day at Hollywood Studios. He chose Hollywood Studios. It's really tradition now where he chooses 50s prime time, and it's always a trip and so much fun to interact with cast members there. If you're unfamiliar with 50s prime time, whether you're listening or watching, definitely check that out on the live stream, the rewatch, because it is so worth a watch. And so to kind of back up a little bit, I'm walking along heading towards Galaxy's Edge, I think. Was it Galaxy's Edge where I was heading to?
Yeah.
And out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody really close shoulder to shoulder to me. And I'm like, okay, wait, this person's not moving. And I look over, and it's Lawrence. He surprised us. If anybody doesn't know, he lives in North Carolina. And boom, he was right there. And that was amazing. That was so cool. That really enhanced the day, and I think it meant a lot to Jacob and of course us. So I'm so glad you guys came.
Yeah, we had we talked about it last weekend that I wasn't going to be able to go pick up my Figment magnet, but we had already had the trip booked 2 weeks prior to that, so we figured we would surprise you. So we kept trying to figure out how to do it, and we were at Epcot that morning and saw you guys at Indiana Jones. You guys came out of Indiana Jones. I tapped Jacob and said happy birthday and kept walking past, and he was like, wait, what? And and then just stood next to you until you realized it was me.
See, that's the thing about Corey, is that if you sneak up on him, sometimes he doesn't catch on right away. But he's gotten really good at picking up when I'm coming at him, though.
Yes. So, yeah, this is the segment that we like to call This Week in the Parks. So we went about our day. We had a good time, and the dinner plans were to go to 50s prime time. Lawrence took care of everything on his end. I was like, oh, we're going to dinner. And he's like, got the reservation. We're going to Olga's late night. Got the reservation. Lawrence thinks of everything. So we went to 50s prime time, and Leah was our waitress, and she was just unbelievable, just over the top, funny, all in it, and a lot of fun. Tammy goes to order her meal, and throughout that process, the waitress learns that I don't like carrots. I only eat carrots because I know they're good for me. I force them down. I like raw carrots, the small ones, but I don't like cooked big carrots. It's not my thing.
Ditto. I don't either.
Yeah. So Leah remembers this. She comes over with a bowl of whipped cream, and underneath it is carrots. I go, who's that for? Oh, you're eating carrots. Remember, you don't like carrots. For anyone that doesn't know this, these are the kind of things you deal with. 50s Prime Time is a 50s themed restaurant, and you've got the Formica tables, you've got the black and white TVs on the wall, all the knickknacks that would represent the 1950s, and you're at your aunt's house, and she's cooking for you. No elbows on the table. Eat your veggies or you're in trouble. We saw a couple of kids have to put their nose against the wall because they weren't behaving. We had to set the table. They threw down the silverware and the napkins and everything and said, get this table set. So we had to do that. So you're made to feel like you are part of the family. And as a matter of fact, when they call you from the lobby area, the waiting area, they actually they'll say like, Lawrence put us under him. So they'll say, Wilson kids, let's go to the dinner table. So it's a lot of fun like that. I had the peanut butter and jelly milkshake, which is a 5 out of 5. All the food is great there. It's all 5 out of 5. And the entertainment is beyond that. And so, yes, she didn't feed me. But she grabbed Steve, another cast member. He came over, and the whole restaurant on that side was watching, and I knew it. And I just figured, all right, play it cool. You're live. Have fun with this. That's a moment where I could sometimes feel shy, but I didn't. I didn't. I was in my element, I guess, and I was ready for that carrot. And he's like, "Do you want the airplane? Do you want the choo-choo train, or do you want the monorail?" So we took the monorail, and he had his arm up, and he starts swinging it around the track, and he's like, "Okay, we're going through the contemporary. Now we're going through the Polynesian. Now we're going through the Grand Floridian, and here we go." And he goes, "Por favor, Montanga," and he says, "Open up wide," and he dropped whipped cream all over me. But I took the carrot like a man, and ate it, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. People think I was joking, but it wasn't bad. So that was a lot of fun. And she had the blue name tag. We asked her what that meant, and that is and it's the highest honor a cast member can get. I think they have to represent certain categories, and she was voted by her peers on that. As a matter of fact, she's so tied to it, and she's so emotional about it, she couldn't even explain to us what it really meant. She had someone come over and explain it.
And she got the award 6 years ago, and she says it still gets her choked up. So,
yeah,
That's
she was
amazing.
awesome. Gave her a hug.
What is it called? The Walt Legacy Award or something like that?
Yeah, I think it might be, but I'm not positive. I think it is like a legacy award, though. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, any more to add about our park experience?
Well, then we went to Oga's late at night. That was great. And of course, we closed out the park. So when we got our private bus back to All Star Music, as we were getting off, the bus driver said, "In honor of you closing out the park and being the last person on a bus," and he gave me he gave us three transportation tokens, which are pretty rare to get. Not even every driver has them, so that was kind of cool.
Very
That's
cool.
really cool. That's really cool to receive something like that. All right. Well, hey, let's tap on a few subjects here. We're halfway to Christmas, right? So people are wondering, if I saw this surface online, do we think the castle icicle lights will return to the castle for Christmas?
One word, no.
I don't think so.
I can't see them returning. The projections are easier to do. They can change them how they need to. And there's a lot of manual labor that's going to go in.
All right, Lawrence said it all. Cheaper, less labor, more customizable. I mean, as much as I love the way the lights look on the castle more, and I think the labor should be, worth it to Disney, but modern Disney is, trying to climb back from their debt.
They could do so much with a stationary projection during the holidays, once the sun goes down, obviously. I think that could really be cool. It could change, it could move, it could, the possibilities are endless, but too bad. It's kind of the way the world's going these days.
That's the thing. I think everybody can't speak for everybody, but I bet the majority of the people really enjoyed looking forward to seeing those icicle lights in person, because they are really a sight to see, and it's a little bit it bums you out to know that won't be back. And unless Disney has changed their mind in the next few weeks or whatever, I spoke to the absolute source who would know this, and he says they're done. They are done, and it's for the reasons Lawrence talked about. They're too much into the projections now, and so the icicle lights will not return as of when that was stated to me several months ago. And he's the director of this. He's the one that makes the decision, but he knows. He's the tech.
That's the end of an era.
I have two things I want to add. First of all, my prayer is that they quit using, stills from the projections of Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time fireworks, and they create custom projections just for that. because them taking the stills from the fireworks show just looks really cheap and it's not really Disney to me. And two, just from a photogenic point of view, I did find the icicle lights, the dream lights, much more photogenic than the projections.
Do you all have pictures in front of the Icicle Castle? We do.
I have a few.
I do not.
I've never seen it in person.
Oh.
I've never been at Christmas, so no.
I only saw them 2018 and 2019.
Yeah, our Christmas visit was 2020, so they were already gone to the projections then.
To the Icicle graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those lights are somewhere.
Yeah. Moving over to, hey, here's an idea. How about this? Why don't we take every building in the World Showcase and douse it with some icicle lights? It doesn't have to be as crazy.
Yes.
Except for Morocco. They won't put them in Morocco.
Okay.
No,
Understood.
But I'm with you.
Holiday lights. They don't do any holiday lights in Morocco at all? No.
They have, well, if you didn't know this, the buildings in Morocco have cultural and religious significance to the people in Morocco, so they do not put any lights on. That's why when you're watching fireworks, all the buildings light up with those lights outlining it. Morocco does not do that.
Ooh.
It's out of respect for the culture.
I never noticed that. That's really neat. If we move over to Hollywood Studios, some of the talk this week was Muppets retheming for Rockin Rollercoaster. We know that Steven Tyler has some allegations against him, some negativity things Disney certainly doesn't want to be mixed into. So that, as that came down, people start talking. There was a refurbishment of Rockin Rollercoaster. People start talking. So naturally, people started to point towards the Muppet Mayhem, which I just started episode 1, and that series looks like it has a lot of promise on Disney Plus. I don't know if you guys have seen any of it or parts or anything yet, but looks great. And what do you think? You think they should theme it? You think they will?
Well, we're up to episode 3, I believe, and that show is a good show, and my favorite character is Kermit, so I like to see that the Muppets are being used in a way. So, could I see them redoing that to Rockin Rollercoaster? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's one ride that it's time for an update on the theme.
I think it's time for an update on the theme for sure. I just don't know if Muppets is the right fit, because when I think about the Muppet Band and the Muppets, rumbling down the road in their bus and the type of music that's playing, it seems kind of slow and low. It doesn't seem like it would fit a fast-paced roller coaster that goes upside down and everything like that. I think there's got to be something out there that's going to fit this thing, but I don't know if Muppets is it. But they've got to do. I do think they need to address the Muppets 3D experience. I think it's just getting so dated. I don't know that roller coaster is the right Rockin Rollercoaster is the right thing.
I look at Rockin Rollercoaster and I just can't see any other theme there. I've thought about it. I've heard all the rumors. I'm just like, I just cannot see any other theme there than, rock and roll. It just doesn't make sense with me.
I thought the rumor about turning it to having it be themed after the band Queen, I thought that was perfect. That would be amazing.
That makes sense. That keeps it rock and roll. But changing it to something, because there's also been rumors making it, what was it, Incredibles, or making it the Muppets. I'm just like, I cannot see a regular Disney property like that being put in there, because it just does not fit the ride system. It's a very intense coaster with inversions.
Mm-hmm.
There's your point right there, right? There's your point. I mean, it's essentially a kid Muppets, or we know Muppets aren't all for just kids, but it's supposed to be appealing to kids. Yeah, and you can't expect kids. The majority of kids that are going to love the Muppets are going to you be able to ride that for its intensity, right? So that's a
Exactly.
great start right there.
That goes with Incredibles too. I mean, I know that they got the Incredicoaster out there at California Adventure. I'm aware of that. But at the same time, you got, Rockin Rollercoaster is this big roller coaster that has, what is it, 3 inversions, 2 of them right off the bat, right at the beginning, with the launch. And I can't see a property that is definitely family friendly, geared towards that, preteen, little kid demographic being put on this roller coaster that is meant for, the thrill seekers in the family that kids won't be able to get near.
I think Lawrence.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. Any theme that would skew towards kids would not make sense there, because most of them aren't even going to be able to ride it because they're not even that height.
I mean, I'm recording this off my phone, so I can't look it up, but I think the height requirement is like 52 inches or something like that, because it has those inversions.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So there's a height requirement already. That rules out.
I'm happy to see it rethemed. I thought when that ride came to be, I thought it was a sore thumb. It didn't fit. I didn't know why they picked Aerosmith. I never knew Aerosmith to have anything to do with Disney. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they contributed to some movie music-wise, but bring it on. Let's retheme.
I think I can explain the theme there for you real quick, Dana. This is just me speculating, though.
Okay. Speculate.
It is Hollywood Studios, and the music industry does have some basis in Hollywood. So G-Force Records would be in a Hollywood type setting, and therefore they would have a band. So they picked a band that had a big name at the time, which was Aerosmith.
That's true. Aerosmith was really hot, right? That was the resurgence of Aerosmith back then. Would we call it the 80s, mid to later?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, the height requirement's 48 inches.
Okay, that was a little bit off, but still.
I believe that's the tallest height requirement.
Let's see, 48. That would put
it 48 also.
48. That's 4 feet, isn't it? Yeah, it's 4 foot.
Yeah.
I almost wish they would have rethemed that coaster after Tron and done a different theme for the Tron ride.
Yeah. I'm really not feeling Tron that much. I'm really not.
Well, the merch is everywhere. Not.
Yes. All right. We ready to move on?
Yeah.
We're good on that one. All right. Let's just talk quickly about our sponsors. If you are looking or wanting to move close to the magic, with over a decade of helping people find the homes of their dreams, Victor Naraki is the guy you want. He is a realtor, one of the realtors, the newer realtors for Vision Home Real Estate LLC, to help you find the home of your dreams. Simply go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. That's DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. Let him know that we sent you. And Victor has his own YouTube channel. I believe his link is down in the description. And if you click on that and simply jump over and subscribe, Victor is going to hand over $1,000 to Give Kids the World when he reaches 10,000 subscribers. He's hoping to reach that here in the year of 2023. And also, if you are simply looking to temporarily move to Disney World for maybe 5 days, 10 days, whatever, anything Disney, this is the lady you want to contact. She has so much experience. You want to book your next vacation with your magical adventures await. Claudia is creating Disney adventures worldwide. She can create a magical adventure to Walt Disney World, Florida, any Disney park worldwide, Disney Cruise Lines, Aulani Resort in Hawaii, guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney, and she is also a Universal Studios expert. If you book with her, her services are free. You can contact her Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can contact her 956-455-8049. And you can also get her on Instagram and let her know that we sent you. And that little bonus in the top left-hand corner is a custom luggage tag. If you book with her, all the traveling members of your party actually get one of those custom luggage tags.
Yay.
So that's good stuff.
Yay, Universal.
And she's a Universal expert. Yay.
Yay. Give me some work to do, y'all.
Yeah, let's put Aaron to work. Let's tackle some Disney news. I think it was kind of a lighter week this week, but we plucked from some things here. And let's get to some Disney news. Let's do that. So we had some upper level management departures, didn't we? I think at the time I put this article in, it was not announced that the second person was the next one to leave. But for this one here, let's see. It says a search to find Christine McCarthy's replacement, who is the one let go, only adds speculation that Bob Iger may stick around in the top job past 2024. McCarthy has been CFO for 8 years and is regarded as a close confidant of Bob Iger, a straight shooter with the sell side, buy side, and a strong operator for the upcoming focus on DTC margin improvements, says Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Cahill. Wrote in a note Friday, her interim successor, Kevin Lansbury, on the other hand, is not well known, but by the street, I guess, well known. Let's see. That's kind of slower information. Let's get to the crux of it. So basically, she was let go. I mean, I got to be honest, I don't follow that stuff super closely, and yeah, I mean, what are your
Initially,
thoughts?
do you remember
I
they
mean,
were saying that she stepped down for family reasons?
yeah,
the word is that her husband is ill.
That's what I was wondering, if there was some illness or something like that. But you think she got let go?
No, her husband's been ill for a while.
Yeah, so
I mean, I guess all else. You first, Corey. Go first.
I'm sorry. No, I don't have too much to add to it. Just that I don't know if that was just a reason, to give. I don't think she's coming back. Right? I don't think she's coming back. I think
no, they're talking about her permanent successor, so she probably won't be back.
Yeah, just more of that.
All I'm going to say is, first, I want to preface this with first, I don't wish ill on anybody. So I do wish her husband well, if that is the case. I hope he recovers and they have a long life together. But at the same time, just from a Disney point of view, Disney business point of view, I'm not sad to see her go, because this is the same CFO that talked about how this was during Chapek's range that guests need to eat less, and how we're going to give them smaller portions, and how she was going to penny pinch the parks and all of this. And I'm just like, I'm not sad to see her go, just from the pure business point of view.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right.
Good luck to her.
Pixar film Elemental opens as studio's second lowest box office debut. This article was written by Lisa Richwine, Los Angeles, June 28th, from Reuters. Pixar's animated Elemental took in roughly $30 million at the U.S. and Canadian box office over the weekend, the second lowest debut in the history of the acclaimed studio, behind Toy Story franchise, Finding Nemo, and other classics. Elemental, a story about overcoming outward differences, added $15 million overseas for a global total of $45 million from Friday through Sunday. Distributor Walt Disney Company is what it is, who stated that. The film opened in just 3 major international markets and will expand to other countries in the coming weeks. For comparison, The Flash, the latest DC superhero movie, which was amazing from Warner Brothers, also underwhelmed though at the box office. It topped the domestic charts with an estimated $55.1 million. And so, what do we think about that? The movie looks good.
What
I
would be
had
the bigger
moderate
bomb?
expectations for it. That's a good question
Was the bigger
because
bomb Onward?
could be. Could be.
I mean,
I don't think that did anything. Let me see if I can find that out.
Yeah, find that
Well,
out.
I mean, I think the
Uh,
movie industry as a whole is still reeling from the pandemic. They're still trying to come back.
Absolutely,
The
100%.
the theaters have just not been performing the same since the pandemic happened. Even after the pandemic restrictions were all lifted from theaters, and now they're filling them to full capacity again. The people just
Yeah,
have come
sure.
back.
We go to the movies almost every week, and it's been rare since the return that I've seen a packed house. A few times we have, but very, very rare.
So it's kind of hard for me to put that the movies are not performing as well on the studios. More so, well, I guess you can put it on the studios actually because they're the ones that did that direct to consumer theater model during the height of the pandemic, and it
They
kind
spoiled
of
us, didn't they? They
yeah.
really spoiled us back then when movies were
So
going straight
I guess I wouldn't blame the studios today, more so their past actions at the height of the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys, it was Soul.
Mm.
Soul, I would not have guessed that.
Soul made $7 million.
Ouch.
Ooh,
Owie,
that's
owie.
bad.
And then Onward
That
only
is
made
bad.
103. Well, Onward made 103, but so now Elemental will be in between those two.
And
So they did fire somebody too. I think someone just got fired from Pixar this week. Don't quote me, but I think there's been some things happening over there, and more heads may roll. When's the last time they really had a hit? We love Pixar, but it's really been less than mediocre lately. I enjoyed Soul, but it didn't
I
blow
feel
me
like
away.
Disney animation as a whole has been struggling since John Lasseter left the company.
Yeah.
Personally, I go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
All I was going to say was when he was, the lead of Disney Animation was in the middle of a second renaissance almost. And he got let go due to some controversy that I can't remember what it was at this point, but he got let go for that controversy, and Disney Animation's been suffering ever since.
I also think the subject matter, honestly, for the last few Pixar movies has been, for me, way too serious. Let's get back to fun, this outward differences and searching for your long lost father. I mean, it just seems like kind of heavy subject matter.
Exactly.
And I think let's get a rip roaring fun adventure movie out there. It doesn't have to be a fairy tale necessarily, but what was the one with the fox turning red?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do things like that, I think they're fine in shorts. Make them shorts, put them on Disney Plus. But feature length movies, I don't know. They're just, I think bring the fun back.
Turning Red was actually something me and Roxy loved it, and
yeah, it was a good movie.
I mean, one of our favorite
movies. It's just they're not, they're not the blockbusters that we're used to Pixar putting out.
I don't want to dive into spoilers of the movie for those that haven't seen it too much, but there's a scene in that where, again, I don't want to dive into too many details, so I don't know how much it's going to make sense without spoilers, but
I haven't seen it, so don't say it.
Okay, I'll keep it to myself. Just so there's one funny scene in there with a sound effect, and you'll see.
Okay.
Sounds good. I think that's good for news. Like I said, it's slow this week, so let's jump over to this. Let's discuss this because y'all know I love food and I love to eat my way through Disney. Like the goat I am. Flavors of Florida is coming to Disney Springs, presented by Corksicle, 2023, July 1st through August 13th. Flavors of Florida. And this is a look at the menu. So we're going to have to make a special trip over there to Disney Springs, I think, and try some of these things. So actually, if you think about it, that
Wow.
is a week from Saturday at the recording of this. So we'll be at Hollywood Studios on July 1st. We might have to jump over for a late night part 2 and grab something over here. But look at the choices. There's so much to see here. Amorette's always has the great desserts. You've got the orange cream puff there, pastry, the orange bird dome cake, and they'll also offer a strawberry spritzer. The Boathouse is offering something, pan roasted golden tilefish with citrus. Oh boy, esabache. That's what I'm going with.
I'm glad you tried to pronounce that.
Corey, I see the item for you.
Which one
you
is
gotta
that?
get on that deluxe burger, the lime garage burger. Oh my, read that one.
Deluxe patty topped with pepper jack cheese, pork belly, and fried green tomato, served with an avocado, lime, and jalapeno spread. Bring that on. And you can wash it down with an orange bird milkshake, an artisanal shake made with vanilla gelato and orange topped with sprinkles. That's a must get right there.
There you go. There's a whole meal plan.
There is.
Oh God, that looks good.
Okay. Plans are forming, and there's just so much here. Y'all, if you're all watching, you can see it on screen, so we don't have to go through everyone in detail. And if you're listening on the YouTube music app, just flip over to the video piece. See how nice that is? They can just flip over to the video piece and kind of see right there exactly. We're putting them on screen for a decent amount of time here. So Dockside Margaritas, the Edison, Enzo's Hideaway has some things. Everglazed has a donut and a cold brew. The donut is the Citrus Dream Donut, or that's the orange glazed confection graced with white buttercream, citrus flavored icing, and orange flavored candy and fresh mint. That could be something we pick up to go and have in the morning. And then there's an orange lemonade with sweet cold foam.
All I want to say, and this is just a side note, but sort of related, I feel like we as this Disney streamers community don't give enough love to Disney Springs.
Well, the parks are the parks.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm just saying, the parks are the parks.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud right now. Just thinking out loud.
But
every single thing looks amazing on this list. Oh my Lord!
Disney Springs is amazing. It is.
Oh
it really is amazing. And we've got Gideon's will have their key lime cookie chocolate chip with vanilla bean cookie dough infused with Florida key lime juice, then blanketed with premium chocolate chips and special key lime pie crumbs. That, if we can get into Gideon's, might be something. And they have an orange mocha nitro cold brew.
Ooh, mahi tacos? Yes, please. And I'll have that beer too. Thank you.
And the list goes on and on. Alejo has 5 items. Jacques Lindsay's Hangar Bar has Florida shrimp tacos and a couple of other items. Joffrey's has a honey latte. And there's some outdoor vendors that have some alcoholic choices.
Ooh, salt
Pizza
and straw.
Ponte, Polite Pig. Yeah, Aaron's favorite, Raglan Road, has a Sunshine State of Mind sweet orange pudding.
All right, booking my next trip to Raglan Road. You got to give me that much of an excuse.
And if you see down in the bottom right, one of their beverage specials comes in Flavors of Florida Corksicle, and Corksicles are great.
I have one.
I
It's
like them just as
amazing.
much as any other similar, type of brand Corksicles. Yeah, good stuff.
Corksicles are just well made. When I pick them up when we're live and I show people, I talk about how solid and heavy they are. Aaron drinks from his all the time. Does it keep your beverages very cold for a long period of time?
It does.
I actually have a Corksicle that looks like an icicle, and you keep it in the freezer. And on one end, there is a literal cork, and the rest of it is made to be frozen. And once you open a bottle of white wine, you slide it down into the bottle, and the cork seals, and then the frozen part stays inside your wine to keep it nice and chilled.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Rounding it out here is that last menu with pretty much every other place getting into it with T-Rex and STK and Sunshine Churros, Swirls on the Water with an Orange Bird Sundae. Ooh, let's touch on this one. Orange Dole Whip, orange in a vanilla waffle bowl with whipped cream, green sprinkles, and an Orange Bird chocolate decoration. So there'll be demonstrations as well. The culinary series, they say join us at Waterview Stage for our new culinary series featuring demonstrations from renowned chefs and restaurant owners. And the dates are there. On June 20th, you have Alejo by Jose Andres. July 7th, Wine Bar George. Polite Pig will do a demonstration on July 14th. On July 21st, Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. Gideon's will be up there on stage on the 28th of July. And August 4th, Disney Springs Culinary. And for more information, you can go to disneysprings.com/culinary series.
Very
Sounds like
cool.
something we need to touch on.
Corey, you
On
ain't
the
gotta
live
give me.
stream.
You really don't need to give me an excuse to go to Raglan Road. I'll go to Raglan Road anytime.
Sure.
I'll meet
Sure.
you guys there.
So the last thing we want to touch on today is talk about the DAS. What does it stand for, Aaron?
Disability Access Service.
It does, and it's a great service that Disney Parks offers to guests with disabilities. And you simply have to go to guest services and let them know that you need a disability pass. They will ask you some light questions as to why you think you need it. It is against the law to be forced to give full medical information. You don't have to do that to obtain the DAS. I've heard people tell me this when we're live, and I don't want to say I don't believe them, but it can't be true. It's got to be misunderstood by the people that have told me this while we're live in chat, because they'll say, well, they asked, or I told them. They'll say, what I meant to say is they'd say, well, I told them what I had and they wouldn't give it to me.
Could I jump in on that?
Yeah.
I spoke to a cast member actually last night about DAS, and as you mentioned, it violates HIPAA laws to
Yes,
ask people
exactly.
to provide detailed information about their maladies. This is for non-cognitive disabilities. So this is diabetes, PTSD, anxiety disorders. The DAS isn't intended for, physical disabilities necessarily. And so you can register online, she said, or you can just go to guest services or any of the blue umbrellas throughout the park.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
if you decide to register online, you have to do a video chat. Normally does not take very long. Call during off-peak hours or chat during off-peak hours. The nice thing about doing that, though, is as long as you are between 2 days away from your trip and 30 days away, they will give you some ride pre-selections. So if you're in the parks for 4 days, they'll give you 2 ride selections per day ahead of that. And that doesn't count towards your dash. So as soon as you scan into the park, you'll actually have 3 rides right away ready for you.
And the reason that, for example, someone with mobility issues that might need a scooter or something like that, she said the reason that the DAS doesn't usually get approved for those folks is because the park and the rides are wheelchair and ECV friendly as is. So there's that.
And I can come at this from the Florida local perspective. So for Florida locals who are APs, we don't have Disney stays. We register in the park, and typically what the question they ask is, without going into too much detail, what is your problem that you think you need DAS or something like that. I forgot the exact wording of the problem. And they approve it, it's good for 60 days. So every 60 days you have to renew it.
Also, the person that registers with a disability, it's good for it's good for yourself or the person who's disabled plus 5 people. You can mix and match, like if you have more people in your group, according to this cast member that I spoke to, if you've got 8 people in your group, the same 6 people don't always have to go on the ride, but the person that's registered with a disability does.
So she's right, because I've done this. So basically what it is, you can have an unlimited amount of people on the DAS itself registered with you, but you can only put 6 people, counting yourself, per DAS selection.
Right.
So you can have like 20 people registered to your DAS, but you can only choose 6 of them, and that's counting you to 1 DAS return time.
Right. And you can't sit it out because if you're the person with the anxiety.
Exactly. You have to go.
You have to go. Yeah. Yep. Otherwise, they have to just step into line. Maybe Lawrence, you can speak to what the DAS affords you in regards to the line queue.
Yeah. So the idea behind it is that with DAS or whatever the issue is that you would have to get DAS for, you don't need to, or you don't want to stand in line, or you can't stand in line. And so what the DAS gives you, you would go in and let's say Haunted Mansion is 80 minutes like it was yesterday.
110.
Crazy. And so you would select on the app, I want to go to Haunted. Here's who's going with me. And it will give you a return time that's 10 minutes less than whatever the wait time, the posted wait time is at that point. That gives you the ability to go into the stores, to go into the restaurants or quick serve, get a drink, go use the bathroom, whatever you need to do in that time without having to stand in a physical line. You're standing in a virtual line. And so that's really what the DAS does for you in a whole. And it's a life changer for those that need it. And if you think you need it, go on to the website, do the chat, and if they approve you, they approve you. People can tend to feel like, well, what I have going on is not, what that person has going on, so I shouldn't get the DAS. Well, it's not up to you. It's up to Disney. When you're asking them for, approval of the DAS, it's their decision. So you shouldn't feel, bad about getting DAS because somebody else has something else going on.
And I wanted to mention that this doesn't exclude you from purchasing lightning passes, correct?
Correct. Right. Yeah, you can still get Genie Plus. You can still do individual lightning lanes for those rides if you wanted to. Let me also say this, the rides that have virtual queues, like Tron and Guardians currently, you still have to get into the virtual queue. And then once your boarding group is called, you go to the front of the ride, and they can then switch it over to a DAS so that you don't have to stand in that line at that point.
I did also ask her, is the DAS good for the queue for shows? And she said, no, unfortunately not. Attractions only.
Yeah, I can speak to that because prior to the pandemic, I used to, get Fast Pass for Fantasmic when we had regular Fast Pass. and you couldn't use your DAS on that. You had to get a fast pass.
Well, I can maybe disagree with that because we've had a couple of incidences where we have mentioned that we have a DAS and we've had that privilege. I'm talking about the Nemo show in Animal Kingdom. If you have a
Oh,
DAS, there's a special line for you. If you go over to Lion King, there's a special line for DAS as well. And you don't have to give up a DAS that you already have. So if you have Flight of Passage scheduled in the app and you want to get in Lion King show first, they will let you go through that line in the DAS area without using the DAS you have saved.
Oh,
good. Good to
good to
know.
know.
Great.
Yes. Here's one
Now,
other thing.
I
ahead,
do
Aaron.
know that all I was going to say is that they do allow DAS for the character meets that have a lightning lane.
Mm.
Yes.
You can use the DAS on that.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know
last,
if did we intend to talk about Universals? I
Let's
can
talk
touch
about
on that quickly.
I know what I can say from that perspective is that we've used that one there too, and they're behind the times with it as far as they're still doing what Disney did before. It's amazing what Disney's done now, where you don't have to go. Anyone that's watched our channel for any amount of time knows that I have a friend who has a very significant job in Disney, and she does many different things that have been really impactful in the last few years. And so she's a good source to talk to. And um, so for I lost my train of thought for a second there. Um,
So Universal.
yeah, Universal. So I told her before. This was kind of probably during the pandemic. We had a conversation, and I just asked her, or I mentioned it. I said, "Listen," I said, "it's really tough for people, not for our family, because that's not why we have the DAS. It's not physical, you know. Well, one is physical actually, but it's one that you mentioned. So, but leg wise, we can walk. But I said, what about the people that?" Want to ride something in Tomorrowland, but they're over in Adventureland. They've got to go all the way over to Tomorrowland, get that time return, and then maybe go back and resume something else. It kind of really affects their day more than it probably should. So then Disney came out with you can just book the return times on your My Disney Experience app. So, anybody listening or watching, you just go on the app, and you should use the app. I don't care who you are. You should learn the app when you're in the parks. The only way to survive in the parks is to rely on that app and just look at the wait times. You click on the wait time, it'll give you a DAS return time. Click on that, select your party, and you're good to go. And you don't have to go to that particular ride to get that. You can just book it while in the park. So I say that because with Universal, they give you a little card and you have to go to that ride, wait in a line sometimes, get the ride time, and then do that. Like go somewhere else and come back. And so, yeah.
Now, I do like with Universals, and Aaron can tell me the time, but
Yes, what are
within
you
a
gonna say?
certain amount of time, if the ride is only a 20-minute or 25-minute wait,
Yes.
you just go right in. You don't have to get the return time. So that is nice.
I guess I can answer this. For the most part, I'm going to steer clear of speculation on this because I am a Universal employee, so I got strictly to the facts. But it's 30 minutes or more. What is it? Okay, I'm getting it right in my head. 30 minutes or less, there's no return time needed. 35 minutes and more, you need a return time.
Okay, because I thought it was in the 20s, so that's good to know.
But you'll also notice that a lot of rides tend to avoid 30 even.
Aha. So you're either going to get a 20-25 or
Interesting.
you're going to bump up to like 35-40. We got it. Okay, we're going to test this
I
on
didn't say
Saturday.
anything.
Yeah, we're going to test that one on Saturdays. So yes, let's hope in the future Disney will take that 30-minute wait and honor that as well. That is the thing that Universal definitely does better than Disney. Have we said it all? Have we touched on
said it
everything?
all.
We said it all. We did it all.
Did it all. We came.
Right?
We saw. I won't say the rest.
Another amazing DizPod, everybody. I'm so proud of you all. And definitely comment below.
Yes,
Comment
yes.
below, because starting now we are awarding each week. We'll select a random commenter and we'll send you out a $10 Cracker Barrel gift card. I kind of started to make that up while we were live last night, but we should make it just for the podcast. We got to get this podcast pushed up to be one of the top Disney podcasts for sure. So you have to comment, and we will, I don't know, next stream we'll pull a random person out. And,
I still can't hold the logo up.
You can't. Maybe if I move you.
Oh wait, there we go. Okay.
There you go. Now he can
I'm
do
good.
it.
I'm good now.
Now he can do it. Yeah. On that note, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next Monday's 6 p.m. premiere. We love you all. Watch us in the parks. Thank you so much for allowing us to be your ticket to Disney. And we're out.
I was dancing.